Okie dokie, we have a little bit of an off-meta bash here from Cool Umbrella and John FB. Chaos Dwarves have not been top of the meta since their nerfs, especially not with Astrogoth. So real quick, we do have a Deathstreaker rocket launcher, Astrogoth Iron Hand with looks like Ash Storm and Cascading Firecloak. We have 1 Bull Centaur Render, 3 Hobgoblin Wolf Riders, the Blazing Beards of Bazrak, plus 2 Infernal Guard with Fireglaves, a bunch of Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and Goblin Laborers. On the other side, for the Lizardmen, we have 2 Quaddles trying to hide all their brethren beneath their little aura thing that makes the stuff have stock. We have 4 Skink Cohorts with Javelins, 2 Croxigors, a Quaddle, another Quaddle, Mazdamundi on his Mount Zlak, and then 2 Ripperdactyls, one of which is the Colossus Hunter's RR. Actually, there's only 3 Skink Cohorts of Javelins, my bad. Mazdamundi has his Bound, Banishment, Ruination of Cities, Comet of Cassandora, Net, and Apotheosis. Neat. Now for the Deathstreaker, it doesn't seem to mind that much because while all this stuff is hidden, the Quaddles are specifically not hidden. So you could just shoot at the Quaddles, which is fine. I mean, it's a high-value target you do want to hit. And those homing missiles are actually doing pretty good. It's a pretty good start for the Chaos Dwarves here, all things considered. And these Infernal Guard with the Fireglaves are now shooting at the Quaddle, who will dive in here. Oh, and they also have a Bound Uranus Thunderbolt and a Bound Chain Lightning. This is going to be a lot of bound spells with the Salon and the 2 Quaddles. This is probably too much clumping from the Skink Cohorts who are now in here. They're also affected by Ash Storm, giving them all fire weakness, and there's no blasting charges to really punish this, unfortunately, for the Chaos Dwarves. Meanwhile, the Quaddles and Ripperdactyls are now diving the backline to offer a little bit of disruption. A Ruination of Cities is going to go down these Infernal Guard, and it even curves into the Chaos Dwarf Warriors and back into the Noblar Trappers, not Trappers, sorry, Goblin Laborers. Damn, brutal. As the front line for the Chaos Dwarves is not doing so hot. I guess the Lizardmen are taking a lot of damage for their efforts, but it's still feeling pretty rough as the Banishment also hits the Infernal Guard. Ooh, a Bound Chain Lightning hits almost exclusively Ripperdactyls, doing a ton of damage to them. And that is some brutal Lizardmen friendly fire. The Lizardmen are quite up on the balance of power, and I actually tend to agree, as like everything for the Chaos Dwarves is routing right now. Just like, holy shit. Everything is leaving. As a Bound Thunderbolt or a Comet? Which is it? Thunderbolt is going to hit those Chaos Warriors and do a lot of damage. Spooky, spooky. One of the Quaddles is being dedicated to just chasing off the Infernal Guard. Now we are losing some of the Lizardmen. The Lizardmen have a very thin army, so anything they lose will really hurt them. We can see these Ripperdactyls getting chased off. Both of them are routing. One of the Croxors is feeling the burn. So are all 3 Skinks. Hobgoblin Wolf Riders are back. Something has shattered. It looks like it's the Colossus Hunters, and the Astrogoth Iron Hand is here to give Mazdamundi an ass whooping. While Bull Centaur Renders are also feeling pretty good about this. And this is a bad situation for the Lizardmen. They have 2 single entities surrounded by armor-piercing large units of really good duelist and Astrogoth, and then enemy chaff. Blazing Beards of Bazrak got hit in the face with a Comet. They do not enjoy that. They might actually rout. We will see as Skink Coats with Javelins are lining up to start throwing at those guys. In the distance, Quaddle has returned from chasing off that 1 Infernal Guard. Looks like the other one got chased off by these Croxigors or something. And it's still looking very concerning for our friends, the Chaos Dwarves. But this is a big snipe attempt onto Mazdamundi. He is held in place by these Bull Centaur Renders who have been giving Cascading Firecloak to give him better armor piercing, and Astrogoth's hitting them, and Ashtorm is giving him fire weakness, so a lot going on here, making Mazdamundi very susceptible to damage as his Quaddle continues to go absolutely nuts nearby. Blazing Beards are routed again, and a big lightning bolt from the Quaddle is doing a ton of damage to these Chaos Dwarf Warriors. But if the Lord Snipe from onto Mazdamundi comes through, that will be the end of the healing for the Lizardmen. And something's getting cast here. Is it a Comet? Nope. Another Bound lightning bolt, and then a huge Ruination of Cities is going to hit all 3 of these infantry units with a pretty good curve, though it looks like it bugged out and only 1 of it got cast, so lucky stuff there for the Lizardmen. Mazda does manage to escape. It's Cold-Blooded is keeping him in the fight, and then a Bound Banishment. Seeing those Gas Warfighters. That has so many fucking Bound spells, man. So many. Deathstreaker Rocket Launcher actually didn't die, and it is getting away. It might rally in the distance and come back to fire a little bit. Now, how are we doing, my Chaos Dwarf friends? Hobgoblins and Chaos Dwarfs are routing. Still Bull Centaurs are holding for now as Goblin Laborers abandon them. The Bull Centaur Renders are really enjoying this fight versus the Crocscores, though, and they do have a little bit of Chaos Dwarf support, so they'll be just fine with that. And that Death Streak Rocket Launcher is about to come back. Spooky, spooky. Chaos Dwarf's getting a little bit of a second wind as Skink cohorts with their Javelins are chucking into the Bull Centaur Renders, it looks like, and that is probably the right target. You really do need to just take them out at this point, get them out of here. And another Cascading Fire Cloak, trying to keep those Bull Centaurs healthy with 76 melee defense. That will go a long way in keeping them in this fight. But the Death Streaker Rocket Launcher is back, and it's going to fire at Mazda Mundi, who does have a pretty good amount of missile resist, but still, I get wanting to poke him down. He already invested so much into hurting that guy, might as well finish him off. Crocsor is getting real low. Don't think there's enough Apotheoses to save them, but a Shield the Old Ones will rally leadership just long enough to beat those Hobgoblin Wolf Riders. This rocket launcher is taking forever to fire. Finally does shoot, and I thought I just saw an Apotheosis onto Mazda, so we did get a little bit more healing as that rocket launcher hits him in his big dumb face. I don't know what these Croxies are trying to do. It looks like they were maybe trying to path towards the Death Streak rocket launcher, but they're just not getting it done. Bull Centaur Renders do manage to rout off one of the Crocscores. The other one is on its way out. I'm really surprised and kind of annoyed that these Quaddles haven't been used to go chase down that Death Streaker yet, since that is just going to get a lot of free value that you can't really allow to happen. Cascading Fire Cloak cast yet again on the Bull Centaur Renders to give them, again, that enhanced melee defense. And one of the Quaddles now is doing exactly what I wanted, going for that Death Streaker. But the Bull Centaur Renders, with a lot of support from Astragoth and fighting inside their own chaff, have done excellent, excellent work. And they pushed off both Crocscores. Of the Skinks that are left, they're all about to rout. Mazda and his Quaddles are not feeling so hot, but bounce power still slightly leaves them in favor, and I would still tend to agree, because really for the Chaos Dwarves, you're looking at an almost dead Bull Centaur Render, Astragoth, I guess, after his nerfs, and then the Death Streak Rocket Launcher is a lot of their balance of power, though it's currently under attack in melee combat by a Quaddle. Mazda does get a net off onto Astragoth, and that didn't look like it really worked that well, because the Bull Centaur Renders just walked through it anyway, but oh well, I guess. Skink cohorts are going to get a nice side shot onto these Bull Centaur Renders that'll get some decent damage done. And an Ash Storm onto some Skink cohorts of Javelins. Interesting cast. I wonder if it was a miscast or something, but you'd probably want to put it right here with Mazda or something. Death Streaker is gone. No spooky rocket launcher anymore. And a rear charge from the Quaddle is even going to get these Bull Centaur Renders to Terror Rout, and Mazda is still healing up with Apotheosis, and Astragoth is having a really tough time actually getting rid of him once and for all. Some Chaos Dwarf Warriors, Goblin Laborers are here to support the fight a little bit. Mazda is trying to run away with only 45 speed, though. Astragoth's actually quite a bit faster than Mazda, so Mazda can't get away unless he uses nets, but it feels like he's been using those a lot, so they're probably on cooldown / he doesn't have the Winds of Magic for it. Down to 800 HP. And falling, but the Quaddles rout everything besides Astragoth off pretty much, and the Dwarfs have been routing so much that I just have to think they're going to start shattering soon. And Astragoth just does chase down Mazda, gets him down to 56 HP. His leadership goes positive for a second, but it doesn't look like Astragoth is actually going to let him go. And he does finish the Lord Snipe, which will lower the Lizardmen's leadership, so these 3 Skinks shouldn't stick around for too much longer without Mazda here. And it's just Astragoth versus 2 wounded Quaddles, and he gets a giant chunk onto that one. Oh my god. Okay, that looked a little obscene for some reason. Anyway, last of the Chaos Dwarves, last of the Skink cohorts, just gonna fight it out. As Quaddles will chase off the Bull Centaur Renders, and Dwarf Warriors, Astragoth is gonna chase Skinks for a little bit, and we will reconvene when the shenanigans are over. Bull Centaurs are off the map. Skinks are pretty much donezo, and Astragoth has regrouped with his last Chaos Dwarf Warriors. There we go. It is officially 2 versus 23 as the Quaddles try to regroup. Come back into the fight. They charge in, and they get rid of those Chaos Dwarf Warriors outright. But can 2 super wounded Quaddles really deal with Astragoth? Mother flippin' Iron Hand, who still has frickin'... Really? Still has Flamestorms. Jesus. Anyway, the Quaddles are here, and there's a very cool-looking fight as Astragoth continues to try and do battle with these guys. He's getting some hits in, but their lightning breath is pushing him around. He gets another big shot onto that Quaddle, and both of them just constantly shooting laser beams at this poor little Iron Man. who does manage to rout one of the Quaddles. Balance power comes back to even. That Quaddle is now starting to run away, and Astrogoth is going to fight the one that remains. Now, he does have 60 melee attack and 50 melee defense. They have 42 and 50. So he should be getting decent shots in maybe once in a while. But for now, he is having troubles actually getting an attack off. There, he maybe got one on, like, the weird turn. Bounce power turns in favor of the Chaos Dwarfs further as the other Quaddle tries to rejoin the fight. And they are under attack once again. His Cascading Fire Cloak is going to increase his damage and increase his melee defense. As he continues to fight the big spooky snakes, even attempts an attack onto the other Quaddle there. There's a bit of T-posing, there's a bit of silliness. He's getting shot, he's getting poked. He's standing ominously. There, he tried to get an attack off? I wonder if he's even getting any damage out of these guys. 1700, 900, got it. 1700, 900. Still the same. Bounce power is once again against Astrogoth. Does not believe in him since he hasn't landed a hit in quite a while. As he continues to stand there, get lasered in the face, Godzilla breath attack style. Still hasn't hit either of these Quaddles. And he hasn't even, like, attempted an attack for a bit from what I can see. It looks like he's having a real hard time to, like, trying to move or do anything. And if he swings, like, one time, his weapon strength is high enough that he could two-shot that Quaddle, or at least rout it if he hits it again. He can kill that one in 4 hits. There, he got a hit off. But he's injured now. His weapon strength went down. But he did at last get a hit off onto that Quaddle. But his leadership just dips too far. Army losses takes him. And the Quaddles just sit there and beat his ass. A very strange game. But it ended up being good. 4,000 damage value onto Astrogoth. 2,800 on his Bull Centaur pals. Death Shrieker, 1,200. Fireglaves mixed. One of them got, like, nothing done because it just got bound spelled into nothingness. The other one got 800. Chaos Dwarf Warriors, they did alright, I guess. They held for a while, but I'm generally underwhelmed by them. Hobgoblin Wolf Riders got a ton of value. Good lord. And Goblin Laborers kind of sucked and died. The other side from Mr. FB, 2,100 on Mazda, 2,200 on a Quaddle, 2,300 on the other Quaddle. Let's go, Quaddles. Doing more than Mazda Mundi. Croc scores paid for themselves. Rear Protectors did and Skin Course Javelins did well. GG's. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.